Okay, Spartan fans, we're going to look at basic properties of logarithms this morning. We have 5 rules. We've got basic logarithms, product rule, quotient rule, power rule, and change of base formula. I'm going to start with change of base formula because we did that recently. So remember, B is called the base, and A is called the argument. So the log base B of A, that's how it's read. This is going to be the log of the argument A over the log of the base, which is B. And what happened to the base? Well, this has now become a common log and the base is 10. Why do we do this? It allows us to plug it into our calculator relatively easy. So the log base 7 of 32. So the base is 7. Notice how I said that when I read it out loud. The argument is 32. So this becomes the log of 32, which is the argument, over log of 7. That is the change of base formula. If the base is the same as the argument, well, you know what? Let's show what that looks like using the change of base formula. Using the change of base formula, this becomes the log of the argument, which is B, over the log of the base, which is B. So this becomes the log base 10 of the argument, which is B, over the log of the base, which is B, and this is 1. So the log base B of B is 1. The log base A of A is 1. The log base C of C is 1. The log base purple of purple is 1. The log base B of 1. Okay, I'm going to change this to exponential form. So I'm going to make it equal to X. Where'd that come from? I just randomly chose X. If I change its form, it's in log form. Exponential form, base is B. Remember, log is an exponent, so the exponent becomes X, is equal to the argument, and therefore X is 0. The log base B of 1 is 0. The log base B of 26 is 0. The log base 50,000 of 1 is 0. So let's simplify. No work necessary. The base, the argument are the same. The answer is 1. Who cares what the base is? The argument is 1. You get 0. Same base, argument, you get 1. Base, argument is 1. You get 0. This is going to take a lot of getting used to. I'm just going to introduce it today. Okay. Product rule. Multiplying m times n. This is the log base B of m plus the log base B of n. Product rule says if you have an argument and it's multiplied, you add the logs. You know, you remember that a log is an exponent. If you have x to the m, which is an exponent, times x to the n, which is an exponent, what do you do to the exponents? You add. Remember, a log is an exponent, so it follows the same rules. So this is going to become the log base 5 of 6 times 7. So we're working backwards. Add logs, multiply arguments. Add logs, multiply the arguments. This is the log base 5 of 42. the log base 2 of 63. There are a lot of ways you can write this. 63 is 9 times 7. 63 is 3 times 21. I'm sure there are other ones I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. Either one of these is correct. So you could write this as the log base 2 of 9 plus the log base 2 of 7. You could write this as the log base 2 of 3 plus the log base 2 of 21. Okay, quotient rule. X to the m over x to the n is x to the m minus n. Subtract the exponents. So let's subtract the logs. This is the log base b of m minus the log base b of n. So going backwards, subtract the logs, divide the arguments. So this becomes the log base 4 of 84/12. Subtract logs, divide arguments. And I am sure that can be reduced. You divide by 4, get 21. Oh. 84 divided by 12 is 7. And of course, I don't have enough room. Squeezed it in. Okay, expand. There's a lot of ways that you can write 9 as a quotient. 9 could be 18 over 2. 9 could be, we did it over here, 63 over 7. You choose any numbers you want that divide to 9. So this is the log. If there's no base, it's 10. No reason to write it. So you could say that this is the log of, let's just do 18 halves. Randomly choose whatever you want for 9. This becomes the log of 18 minus the log of 2. Again, this is just an introduction. If you're kind of like, what's going on right now? Don't worry about it. But it's important that you go through the process. And the assignment is to take these notes and upload them. That is today's async assignment. This is the biggest one. The power rule and change of base are the most important ones. Not that the other ones aren't important, but these are like it. You have an argument raised to a power. So if you have x to the m to the n, that's the log of x. I'm sorry, not x. Let's try that again. This becomes x to the m times n. You multiply the exponents. Well, guess what? A log is an exponent. N is an exponent. You multiply them. So the n comes down in front. Took the n and I brought it down in front. Comes a coefficient. So let's do the reverse. The n came down in front, so the 2 is in front. To go the opposite direction, I'm going to bring the 2 up. This becomes the log base 3 of 8 squared, which is the log base 3 of 64. Okay, you have a double exponent. Log base 2 of 6 is an exponent. X minus 1 is an exponent. You bring the whole thing down in front and make sure you're using parentheses. X minus 1 times the log base 2 of 6. And that is a very basic intro to properties of logs. Of course, we're going to do a lot more of it. Take the notes and upload them, and that is your assignment for today.